Dark of winter, soft and still, your quiet calm surrounds me. Let my thoughts go where they will, ease my mind profoundly, and then my soul will sing a song, a blessed song of love eternal, gentle darkness, soft and still, bring your quiet to me. Darkness soothe my weary eyes, that I may see more clearly. When my heart with sorrow cries, comfort and caress me, and then my soul may hear a voice, a still small voice of love eternal. Darkness when my fears arise, let your peace flow through me. Darkness when my fears arise, let your peace flow through me. It was a dream, we had to wake from it eventually. We went around the world riding the ships as if they were horses. I wish I had collected tea towels, at least then I'd have something useful to remind me of all the places that I might never get to go back to. You know that I don't need the world to be any more complicated than it already is. After the things we have been through, I'm just amazed that we still exist. I will find comfort in destroying things, and if you can be happy with me, I'll be happy to be myself. Alone with my thoughts, I don't want to think like this anymore. I wish that I could just empty my brain and fill it up with happy thoughts again. For a change, you know that I don't need the world to be any more complicated than it already is. After the things we have been through, I'm just amazed that we still exist. And I will find comfort in destroying roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down, down to the earth. My roots go down. I am a wildflower pushing through the stones. I am a wildflower pushing through the stones. I am a wildflower pushing through the stones. My roots go down. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down. I am a willow swaying through the storm. I am a willow swaying through the storm. I am a willow swaying through the storm. My roots go down. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down. I am a mountain reaching for the sun. I am a mountain reaching for the sun. I am a mountain reaching for the sun. My roots go down. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down, down into the earth. My roots go down.
Ya-da-day, ya-da-da-day, ya-da-day, day-day-day, ya-da-day, ya-da-da-day, ya-da-day, day-day-day, Dark of winter, soft and still, your quiet calm surrounds me. Let my thoughts go where they will, ease my mind profoundly, and then my soul will sing a song, a blessed song of love eternal, gentle darkness, soft and still, bring your quiet to me. Darkness soothe my weary eyes, that I may see more clearly. When my heart with sorrow cries, comfort and caress me, and then my soul may hear a voice, a still small voice of love eternal. Darkness when my fears arise, let your peace flow through me. Darkness when my fears arise, let your peace flow through me.
Hi, we're Foothills Unitarian Church, a progressive community on a mission of unleashing courageous love. In the last year, to keep our community safe, we've been meeting all online at first, it was hard and confusing, but over time, we've been growing and learning, finding new and better ways to share our lives with each other. We are so glad to welcome you here, where we don't need to go to church to be the church. We share stories from our lives, hard-won lessons of courageous love, and we offer each other blessings for life's milestones and companionship for life's struggles and celebrations. While we mostly sing apart these days, we receive the gift of music in beautiful videos with many of our voices mixed back together. Between Sundays, our community connects across neighborhoods and circles with the support of our caring network. We reach out to support families across all of life's ages and stages, and we serve and work together for justice and love in our wider community. We're doing what we might have once thought impossible, creating the sacred in the everyday, even through screens. Plus, there are some other benefits beyond showing up to church in your PJs. Because we're not using our building, we've been sharing it with one of our community partners, the Family Housing Network, and it has been a safe and stable home for families in our city experiencing homelessness all year long. And through it all, we've tried to keep our sense of humor, remembering that no matter what, we're all in this together. If this is your first time worshiping with us, welcome. Make sure to fill out our digital Connect card so we can know who you are and reach out. All right, our service is going to begin shortly. In case you're new to Zoom, here are a few pointers. If you're watching on a computer, on the bottom left-hand side are the audio and video buttons. Selecting them will unmute or mute your camera or microphone. You can also open the audio settings to do any troubleshooting. Keep your mic on mute for the service so we can hear the speakers. Another important button is the chat. During the service, we invite you to participate actively. Sometimes the chat window disappears, but selecting this button on the bottom menu should always bring it back. If you're watching on a tablet or phone, these buttons might be in a slightly different place on your screen. Our service is about to begin. Thanks for joining us. We hope you find in this time together a sanctuary, and in our faith, a lifelong spiritual path, and that you will return here again and again, joining us in our work of unleashing courageous love wherever we go.
Like the inns in the Christmas story, we too can feel like there isn't enough room in our lives. Room for friendship or connection, room for generosity or mystery, creativity or room for hope. We have been stuck for so long. We think we already know how things will turn out, and survival feels like our only mode. We forget that all new life begins with invitation and welcome. The softening of the heart to the unexpected, the softening of the heart to the vulnerable. Let's begin again. Let's slow down and release. Prepare for mystery in every direction. Prepare for the gifts of life that are always offering themselves to us, if only our hands and hearts were not too full to receive. This December, make room for hope. Make room for hope to arrive in the most unexpected ways. Make room for love that is still arriving, newborn and ready to grow.
Good morning and welcome to Foothills and our online service. I'm Christopher and I'm so glad to be with you this morning. We are a community grounded in both the affirmation of the inherent worth and dignity of every person and the challenging and beautiful reality that we are all in this life together, interdependent and interconnected. Which is why in our community we know we need to practice both courage and humility. Courage because we know that we all hold a piece of the truth, and yet it is only a piece. And so we need each other to make sense of anything in this life. This is also why we're so glad to welcome all of you, especially if you're new, as we know we are already enriched by your presence. It's good to see you here on this day after Christmas. If you are new or new-ish and resonate with what you've experienced so far, you should let us know. If you text the word newish to 97000, we can begin to help you make sense of some deeper connections and send you a copy of the Seeker edition of the UU World, which has all kinds of articles about how UUs live out our values in the world today. So today marks the final Sunday in the year, and as we continue our series, Make Room, we're inviting each of us to pay attention to and make space for what is most important in our lives. This Sunday, we are only offering this one service online featuring a special guest message from the president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, the Reverend Susan Frederick-Gray. Susan will be speaking about a practice that is central to our Foothills community, the practice of gratitude. Next Sunday, we return to our regular services, in person at 8:30 and 10, and online at 9, with a rebroadcast at 11, as we celebrate our annual tradition of Fire Communion. This is one of our favorite services every year, where we mark the new year with a ritual releasing the past to make space for new beginnings and new habits. For our in-person services, be sure to reserve your spot at foothillsuu.org/Sunday. This brings me to our community time question, this time where we check in with each other around a question related to our service theme. So this morning, kind of in keeping with our series and also just looking ahead to Fire Communion, I'm wondering, what are you making room for in kind of more of an aspirational way, perhaps, than current reality? What would you like to make more space for in your life today and moving forward? Look forward to seeing your answers in the chat. I think for me, I'm looking to make more room for play. Just to say yes to the invitations to play that my daughter constantly is bringing to me as often as I can, and just make more room for play and joy. I see time for myself, art, time to relax, planning my adventures and putting them on my calendar. Yes, Peter. Time with my animals and to be outside. More art, visiting friends and family in their homes. Creativity, deeper connections. Time for nature, reading. Oh, yes, growing things, raising chickens, being creative. Sounds lovely. I want to make room for all these things. Oh, thank you for all these answers. You can continue to drop those in the chat as you're inspired. And let's turn now to our opening song, a special offering from vocalist and song leader Melanie DeMore, who we had with us online earlier in the year, and who we had been planning to have with us in person in January. We have now postponed that in-person time given the rates of the virus, But we can't wait to have Melanie with us as soon as it is safe. And you'll see why in this video. I hope you sing along.
Hello, UU family. I'm going to sing a song with you called Shine on Me. It's an amazing spiritual that anybody can sing. And in these days when the things that we're dealing with, the feeling separate and all of that, and things seem so hard, this is one of those songs that you just throw your head back, put it in your medicine kit. All you have to do is ask. And here's how it goes. Shine on me, oh shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me, oh shine on me, yes, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me. Lift me up, oh, lift me up. Let the light from the lighthouse lift me up, oh, lift me up, yes, lift me up. Let the light from the lighthouse lift me up, oh, hold me close, yes, hold me close. Let the light from the lighthouse hold me close, yes, hold me close, oh, hold me close. Let the light from the lighthouse, please, hold me close. Oh, shine on me, yes, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me, oh, shine on me, yes, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on all you have to do is just ask. The light is always there. Always. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Melanie. So good to hear her music this morning. We light our chalice with these words from Unitarian Universalist minister Alice Anacheka Nesman. In a time of uncertainty, when everything around us is changing constantly, each day new developments, rising numbers, changing guidelines, When the world we live in feels upside down and topsy-turvy, we light our chalice to remind ourselves of grounding in our faith. We remember that the flaming chalice came into being as a beacon of hope during World War II, a secret symbol that offered help. In the midst of it all, we wrap ourselves in the warm light of a familiar flame, a reminder of the strength that emerges when we come together in community. And now please join me as we share the words of our covenant, that sacred promise that binds us together, which starts with the word love. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Love is the spirit of this church, and it is in that spirit that we journey together through our joys and sorrows, and in the ways these show up all at once in the tangled blessings we call life. This week we are holding in our hearts Jason Martin and his father Dave, who is ill with COVID-19. And if you are holding a joy or a sorrow this morning and feel comfortable, I invite you to share it in the chat, to be held in compassion and the care of this community. For a long-awaited job offer for my husband's dream job, says Melissa. We hold you in care. For a dear friend whose husband passed away of COVID complications. Joy for a daughter coming today. And thankful for a sister's successful surgery shoulder replacement. Beyond these that we've named aloud, let us honor those joys and sorrows that remain unspoken, but yet live in the silence of our hearts. Stories of regret or loss, pride or praise, in the mixture of it all. May each feel held and healed by the compassion embodied here in our community. In these difficult days, may we feel surrounded by a sustaining grace, a love that holds us and holds all. This morning we want to share with you a meditation and a homily from our UUA president, the Reverend Susan Frederick-Gray. Her focus is a practice central to our community, the practice of gratitude. And she's going to start with a 10-minute gratitude meditation, and then explore the practice of gratitude in a brief homily. Now, Susan recorded this homily for Unitarian Universalist congregations across the country to use in our worship services at some point during the month of December, as she understands, as we do, how critical the practice of gratitude is in these days, especially in the midst of winter. And you'll hear in her message a reference to the coming holidays, as she recorded this in case anyone wanted to offer it early as the Sunday after Thanksgiving. So for our purposes, now nearing the end of the holidays, I'll invite us to hear it all as an invitation to frame our new year. I have a sense it'll still be needed. And with that, I invite you to settle in, and let's turn now to a time of meditation.
I invite you, as you are willing, into this time of meditation and reflection and into this practice of gratitude. If you like to write as a way of reflection, feel free to grab a journal or a piece of paper or something to write with. It's also okay just to find a comfortable position to sit in or stand in or whatever is most comfortable for you and your body to help you feel at ease. First, I invite you to take a few relaxing breaths. In and out. Feel free to close your eyes if that is most comfortable, or to leave them gently open. Breathe in a way that feels comfortable and relaxing. I invite you at first just to pay attention to your body. If there's a place of tension or pain, imagine breathing your breath into that part of your body. Imagine the breath sort of expanding that area of tension and then breathing out through that pain or tightness, feeling the muscles release with the out breath. With breathing in, sort of expand your attention in any area of tension. Breathe out through that area, letting the tension go. Breathing in through areas of tension and out, letting go of that tension or pain if you can. Now I invite you to bring your attention to your heart space, to your chest, maybe your abdomen if you prefer. Again, just gentle breaths, breathing that feels natural and relaxing. And just be aware of anything that you're feeling. If you're feeling joy or calm and peace. If you're feeling sadness or grief or anxiousness, just be aware of it. Breathe alongside that feeling. Offer yourself compassion for whatever may be present to you right now. As you continue to breathe, ask yourself if there's anything or anyone you are feeling grateful for. Just ask yourself in your heart, what or who are you grateful for? Is there anyone who's caring for you, showing you care, inspiring you, comforting you? Anyone who you love, who you are grateful for? Hold that person, those people. Visualize them, hold them in the gratitude that you feel for them. Breathe in that feeling of gratitude. Breathe out that gratitude for those loved ones. I invite you to just take a few more breaths. And as you do so, I invite you to think about anything about this day, anything that's happened, anything that you're looking forward to. If you have a window nearby, maybe you can see some sky or sun or tree or rain. Just be present to that. Take it in. Hold in your attention anything that you are grateful for from this day, that you're grateful to be looking forward to in this day. Anything that's present to you right now. I'm giving thanks for the sunshine after so much rain. Just hold that gratitude and that attention in your heart, in your mind, as you breathe in and out gently. Take a few more breaths and imagine just opening your heart space wide and asking if there's anything else you're grateful for. Their friends or community, faith, connections that you appreciate and feel attentive to. To open your heart to other things then in your life in this moment that you are feeling grateful for. Hold those in your attention. Breathe in that feeling of gratitude. Breathe in imagining or holding in your mind those people, those things, those connections. Breathe in that gratitude. It's also okay if some of our relationships are mixed with other emotions besides gratitude. Be present to that. Breathe it in. As you continue to breathe, just take a moment to hold in your attention all these connections, all these relationships, all these gifts that you are grateful for. Bring them to your attention again together. Breathe in the gratitude you feel. Breathe out gratitude across those connections. And as you are ready, as you continue to just breathe gently, you can bring your attention back to this time, to your body, to each other, gathered in meditation. And as we close, and as you breathe gently, Maybe offer a word in silence or out loud or spoken, just a word of gratitude for these gifts. Blessed be, and amen.
Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. I am saying thank you. I am saying thank you. I am saying thank you. Thank you is my practice. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. We are saying thank you. We are saying thank you. We are saying thank you. Thank you is our practice. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, 'cause we are saying thank you. We are saying thank you. We are saying thank you. Thank you is our practice. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, we're all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
Dear ones, I'm gonna be honest with you. For me, these past few months have been rough. As the pandemic wears on, I have experienced a level of exhaustion I have not known before. And it's not just the pandemic. It's witnessing the devastating impacts of widespread disinformation, the attacks on our democracy, the attacks on people's lives and rights. It's the attack on women's rights and reproductive health. And it is living through the increasingly frequent impacts of climate change. It has all been so much. And there is still so much grief at the loss of loved ones, family members, friends, and the nearly incalculable loss of so many lives to this pandemic. The despair is real. If you are feeling it, I want you to know you are not alone. I knew this in-between or liminal time would be more difficult than the early days of the pandemic, but I didn't really appreciate how it would feel in my body and spirit. But here's the thing that is saving me now. I have found myself out of necessity turning towards gratitude. As we enter this season of holidays and holy days, we have an opportunity to draw our attention to what sustains us, to draw our attention to the sources of love and care and gratitude in our lives. However you celebrate, holidays are a time that, and the rituals that surround them, are an opportunity for reflection. They often invite us to remember our past, which can bring joy as well as sorrow. But they also remind us to be attentive to the present moment. The writer and activist Adrienne Marie Brown writes, "I have had to soften my grip on a fearful future narrative and return to the humility of the present." I have had to soften my grip on a fearful future narrative and return to the humility of the present. Spiritually, in my daily practice, I am leaning into gratitude and attention to the sustaining present moment because I need a way to get in touch with the sources of joy and compassion in my life. Joy and compassion are life-sustaining. We are made for joy and compassion. Leaning into gratitude for this earth, gratitude for the relationships that sustain me, leaning into the presence of love that surrounds me and all of us, leaning into the gift that is present with each breath of life. This practice is bringing more joy and light into my spirit. Gratitude is a foundation for so many of the values and qualities that we hope to nurture. Gratitude helps us appreciate our loved ones and bring more care and attention to that which matters most. With time and consistency, practicing gratitude does nurture more joy in life. It makes us attentive to the beauty and the gifts that surround us and that are not of our own making. Gratitude helps us turn our unrealized desires to an appreciation of what we already have, and for what Adrienne Marie Brown describes as the humility of the present. Gratitude is a foundation for touching the earth with reverence, a practice of seeing life and the beauty of creation as a gift and treating it as such. Practicing gratitude, being intentional in taking time to name what we are grateful for, also reminds us of our fundamental interdependence. When I ask myself, what am I grateful for? I think of the people that I love and who love me. I think of the relationships that sustain me. I think of my sweet dog and how much I love him, how grateful I am for his presence in our family. I think of the gift of the earth. I open my attention and give thanks for the blue sky or the rain, for the trees and the sun, for the wind and the life-giving water. I remember the fundamental interdependence in which I am held, in which all life is held. And I feel that as a source of strength and connection. One of the things I love most about gratitude is that it's concrete. We all know what gratitude means. We know what it is to feel thankful. On the one hand, gratitude is simple and clear. However, when we really foster an intentional practice of being mindful every day, of taking time every day to think about what we are grateful for, to think about the gifts that have come to us and sustain us. We realize that gratitude actually has the power to deeply change our perspective. It has the power to shape and reshape our communities and our culture. Gratitude is incredibly powerful. Gratitude is a concrete practice that with time unlocks a generosity of spirit and a generosity of love. Experiencing our interconnectedness, experiencing the ways that we are not isolated beings, but deeply connected and held by gifts not of our own making, inspires a generosity of spirit for ourselves and for others. It inspires a desire to nurture those connections with love, to pay more attention to what matters. So I am calling myself back to gratitude these days. I am calling myself back to a practice of gratitude to find my way through the grief and the fear and the struggle and the despair. Now, to be clear, this practice of gratitude doesn't make our grief or my grief go away. And it doesn't mean I don't still have moments of fear and anger or feel gripped by despair. Intentional spiritual practice actually makes space for all of us to welcome whatever is present in our hearts. And gratitude reminds me that that is not all that life holds for me. There are so many ways to create a regular practice of gratitude. I know people who have gratitude journals who spend a little time each day writing down 1 or 2 or 3 things that they were grateful for from that day. Many years ago, I had a practice where every time I would cross the threshold of my home, either to leave or to come back home, as I crossed the threshold, I would pause and take a breath, and I would recall something that I was grateful for from the day or from the morning. These days, I am making time in my morning practice to ask myself what I am grateful for and to open my heart to those gifts. When our spirits are worn and weary from grief and loss and fear and anger, which legitimately our spirits are rightfully weary. When we are too short with ourselves or others, too impatient or critical or negative with ourselves or others, gratitude can be a practice that nurtures in us a generosity of spirit, a generosity of kindness. So much right now seeks to isolate us, to divide us, to wear us out and wear us down. Turning towards a concrete practice of gratitude helps combat the ways in which we are being called to isolation and division, because gratitude actually turns us toward each other. Reminds us of our interconnectedness, which is so critically, spiritually needed in our world these days. I know there are times in our lives when our despair and our grief is so great that we may not be able to even name one thing we are grateful for. I know those days are real. However, I also know that even if nothing comes, that just calling our attention to look for things we are grateful for helps open our eyes, our attention, our spirits, so that with time, we can become more aware of the gifts around us. Gratitude And practicing gratitude each day has been saving me. It's been reminding me of joy. It's been inspiring in me more joy, compassion, pleasure, humility. It's been reminding me of the gifts that are present in each moment. And finally, I want to say how grateful I am for all of you, and how grateful I am for this faith that we share. This faith that nurtures and sustains and holds me in these days. My prayer for you, my offering for you, I pray that there may be more moments of gratitude and joy in your days. And know that we are, all of us, deeply connected by unseen but real threads of compassion, of humanity and care, and that this is a source of strength and love in our lives. Blessings to you, blessed be, and I love you.
In response to all the gifts of life, we are invited to give back, to pass on the blessing as a response to all the ways that we have been blessed. This is the practice of our shared giving towards the end of each of our services. And this morning, we're going to continue the offering from our Christmas Eve service as we take up our special annual collection for our minister's discretionary fund. Now, we use the discretionary fund to support people with rent, medical bills, counseling, gas, those foundational pieces of life, of health, of stability that we all deserve, but that can very quickly become out of reach when something totally unexpected happens. And in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of unexpected things happening. And it isn't looking like that is going to stabilize in the coming year. So everything that we share in this offering will go to support our discretionary fund. Especially if you were not able to give in our Christmas Eve service, we invite you to give generously by texting the number to 84321, the amount plus the word share. And of course, if you gave on Friday, you can still give now. You can also go to foothillsuu.org/sharetheplate. We are grateful for this community and the ways that we can be there for each other. And we will now gratefully receive your generous offering.
Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with a vision clear.
Since we have spent our time this morning focused on gratitude, for this time, where we usually tend to gratefulness, I want to instead offer a few extra minutes for music, especially as this marks the end of my time with you as music lead. It seems fitting to lift up how important music is to our shared healing and sense of community. In the new year, this community will be searching for a new permanent music director. This person will be such an important part of the Foothills team. So I offer this piece of music arranged by UU music director Adam Pod and his brother Matt Pod as an example of the sorts of amazing things that music can offer to our communities in these times. This is their arrangement of My Life Flows On, an Endless Song, or How Can I Keep From Singing, featuring musicians and singers from Grace Chorale of Brooklyn, First Unitarian Congregational Society in Brooklyn, and First Presbyterian Church of Brooklyn. I will be back the first Sunday of February to lead the service in person and for a chance to mark a more official end of my time as a Foothills employee, as I make room in my life to tend to my family and give space for the important work of leading the spiritual care department at Poudre Valley Hospital here in Fort Collins as their chaplain. So if you're ever at PVH for any reason, please reach out. I'd love to come and say hello. Let's turn now to our music. And if you'd like to share your gratitude into the chat while the music is playing, I know we would all love to share in that gratitude with you.
My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, the far off hymn that hails a new creation.
No storm can shake my inmost heart, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love prevails in heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing?
While though the tempest round me roars, I know the truth in
Wasn't that just fabulous? Oh, thank you to the Pod Brothers and all those amazing musicians. I wanted to close today with the wisdom of Robin Wall Kimmerer, and I started looking up some of her quotes on gratitude and realized there's a lot of really good ones. It's like, oh, what do I choose? And gosh, I just want to share them all with you. But what I really was left with is I just love how Robin brings this sense that gratitude is not something that we just do as an individual for ourselves to make our lives better or to help us get through the day, but it's really an offering to our community, to the wider world around us. And I found this quote from an interview, and she said, "I don't have the power to dismantle Monsanto, but what I do have is the capacity to change how I live on a daily basis and how I think about the world. I just have to have faith that when we change how we think, we suddenly change how we act and how those around us act, and that's how the world changes. It's by changing hearts and changing minds, and it's contagious. I became an environmental scientist and a writer because of what I witnessed growing up within a world of gratitude and gifts. A contagion of gratitude. I'm just trying to think about what that would be like. Acting out of gratitude as a pandemic. I can see it." Our worship is over, but our service just begins. Go in peace and in love. Blessed be.